From the News Channel 5 Network, this is Sportsline.
All right, welcome into Sportsline here on News Channel 5 Plus. Yours truly, John Burton, filling in for Steve Lehman as he enjoys a well-deserved holiday week off. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Just a couple of days away from Turkey and Football Day. And everybody's excited to be reunited with family and friends, get a nice meal, watch a couple of football games as we dive right into the holiday season. Certainly a great time for sports right now. So much going on. Pretty much all three of the four major sports going on. Of course, baseball off season, NFL's in full swing. College football really getting down to the nitty gritty. Latest college football playoff rankings are out. We'll tell you about them a little bit later on. Not much has changed, actually. The top four still the same. Washington moving into that 5 spot. Wisconsin moving into the 6 spot. And your Tennessee Vols coming in at number 17 with Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, and Clemson, your top four. So if you have any reaction to that, you can certainly give us a call, 737-7767. But, of course, Thanksgiving week means rivalry week. We're going to dive headfirst into this week's game between Vanderbilt and Tennessee. It comes up Saturday night from Vanderbilt Stadium, 6:30 kickoff locally, and a lot of intrigue going into this game. And I want to know from you, I want to hear from the Vols fans, I want to hear from the Commodores fans tonight, which team needs it more? Let's start with Tennessee. Obviously, they came up short in their bid to win the SEC East. They were the preseason favorite to win the SEC East, got off to a hot start, then 3 straight SEC losses in a row. One of them a brutal loss at South Carolina. Of course, the Gamecocks not very good this year. Even though they beat Florida, Florida finishes ahead of them in the standings. So the Gators, powered by their win last week at LSU, 16-10, they get the late goal line stand. So the Gators are going to Atlanta to face Alabama in the SEC championship game. For the Vols, they sit at 8-3, and a win over Vanderbilt Saturday night would certainly move them to 9 wins and maybe set them up for a New Year's Six bowl, perhaps the Sugar Bowl we're hearing. Is that enough for you, Vol fan, or are you disappointed about the way this season turned out? Were you expecting the SEC East title? Let me know where you're at. I want to hear from the Tennessee fans tonight, 737-7767. And, of course, for Vanderbilt, a lot on the line for them as well. A win Saturday night over the Vols would put them at 6-6 and make them bowl eligible in year 3 under Derek Mason. And when you look at the way this season started, tough loss to start the season at home to South Carolina. They were able to battle back. They came back for some wins. The win at Georgia certainly was impressive. They've had their share of ups and downs this year, but they looked great last week in a 38-17 win over Ole Miss. Finally got the offense going to go with that defense. And so the Commodores certainly have a lot to play for. So I want to know from you, which team has the most to gain as we get ready for Vanderbilt and Tennessee? 737-7767 is the number to call. Of course, area code 615. Coming up at 8:15, we're going to hear from Adam Sparks from the Tennessean, who, of course, covers Vanderbilt athletics. Get his thoughts on Saturday night's big game between the Vols and the Commodores. And Derek Mason, of course, he's never beaten Tennessee. But this rivalry, especially when James Franklin was here, started to even things out a little bit. Of course, Tennessee dominated the rivalry for so many years. James Franklin was here just a couple of short years ago, beat them in back-to-back years, which had never happened in the history of Vanderbilt football. So we will get your thoughts on Tennessee and Vanderbilt. I want to know from Vols fans, are you disappointed in the way this season turned out? Would a win Saturday night over your arch rival, your in-state rival, ease things up a little bit? Are you still bummed out that Tennessee did not make it to the SEC championship game? And from the Commodore fans, what do you make of this season? Standing again on the verge of going 6-6 and becoming bowl eligible after some of the ups and downs that this team has had during the season. I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I think I'm pulling more for Vanderbilt in this game because I think they have more to play for in terms of getting bowl eligible, in terms of Derek Mason finally getting a foothold on this program and starting to improve things a little bit. It's going to be an interesting matchup. You have Vanderbilt's offense, which has suddenly become more balanced. Ralph Webb obviously has been a stud at running back. He's 27 yards short of breaking Zach Stacy's all-time record for rushing at Vanderbilt University. And all of a sudden, Kyle Shermer, 270 yards passing last week, a few touchdowns. He seems to be improving his game as well. So, again, no dog in the fight for me, but I would tend to lean towards pulling more for Vanderbilt. I think they have more to gain. They obviously do have more to gain from this game. If Tennessee loses, they're still going to a bowl game. Maybe the Belk Bowl, maybe the Music City Bowl. I'm sure the folks at the Music City Bowl would love to have them here in Nashville. It'd be basically a home game for them. So no matter what happens, Tennessee is going bowling. You can't say the same for Vanderbilt if they finish at 5-7. I know there are 5-7 teams that have made it to bowl games, but if you're Derek Mason, you don't want to go to a bowl game with a 5-7 record. You want to be able to go in at 6-6 and say, hey, we became officially bowl eligible. So if we're talking Vanderbilt, we got to talk with my man David on line 2. David, go ahead. You're on Sportsline. What's up tonight?
Hey, I just want to say I'm pulling for Vanderbilt in this game because Tennessee they bowl eligible anyway, so they're going to go to a ball game. I mean, I just feel like Vanderbilt is going to beat them this time. That's all I have to say. Now, what I want to say is Derek Mason, is this coaching in Vanderbilt on the line here with this game?
No, it's not. It's not. Derek Mason will be back next year, regardless of what happens in this game. You look at the job he's done, some of the things that this team was able to accomplish this year. Again, you go back to the win at Georgia, down by a touchdown late, needing a touchdown late. Your offense goes down and gets a score. I know Georgia's going through some transition this year under Kirby Smart, first-year head coach, but that's still Georgia. And, you look at some of the comeback win against Western Kentucky, the win last week against Ole Miss where the offense finally exploded and came to life. Derek Mason's job is safe, but wouldn't it be great to see him get a 6th win and become bowl eligible? I think it would be a major, major accomplishment for Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And I just wanted to say Tennessee, they messed up when they lost to a Texas A&M game in South Carolina. If they would have got those two, man, they would have been in good shape. Yeah,
they had a golden opportunity, and thanks for the call. Happy Thanksgiving. They had a golden opportunity really in both of those games. They just came out flat against South Carolina. The Texas A&M game, they got down big. They were able to come back. We've seen that, but you can't do that time in and time out. Especially when you're playing SEC teams, good SEC teams like Texas A&M is. And, yeah, I'm sure a lot of Vols fans are kicking themselves right now because you beat Florida finally after 11 years of losing to them, but yet they still get to go to Atlanta because you stubbed your toe against South Carolina. You couldn't come all the way back against Texas A&M, and so now they get to go to Atlanta. They'll get their shot at Alabama. They will lose probably by 3 touchdowns, but at least they get their shot, whereas Tennessee, a team that was picked to win that side of the conference, will have to settle for perhaps if they win on Saturday a New Year's Six Bowl. If they lose Saturday, again, you're probably talking maybe Belk Bowl or perhaps Music City Bowl. Let's find out what Keith has to say on line 3. Good evening, Keith.
Good evening.
Happy Thanksgiving. How are you tonight?
Pretty good. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Good, good. All right, we got UT Vandy this Saturday night. Who you got? Who needs it more?
UT.
Yeah?
I'm pure orange, and like you said, they stubbed their toe about 3 times this year.
Mm-hmm. Heck, it could have been 4. I mean, the App State game, the opener, they almost stubbed their toe in that game.
Oh, yes, but the games I'm talking about, is like you were saying, was the Gamecock game, Texas A&M, and then, of course, Florida.
Mm-hmm. Well, they beat Florida, so that's a step in the right direction. But overall,
Alabama, excuse me.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, a couple factors from that game. Alabama is Alabama. They're the best team in the country. And number two, Vols were really banged up going into that game, and they were probably still a little shell-shocked from what happened the week before against Texas A&M. Where do you come out as a diehard UT fan? Where do you come out on this season? Vols, as we said, picked to win the SEC East. They come up short. They're going to finish with no worse than 8 wins, and they'll go to a bowl game. But do you see this team? Do you see this season as a disappointment? Where do you come out with UT?
Well, I am a little disappointed in them and everything, the way that it is going. But it could have been a better season, and I'm looking for them to win Saturday. Hopefully that this won't be Jones's last year.
I don't think it will. I don't think Butch Jones is going anywhere. I think, and thanks for the call. I don't see Butch Jones losing his job after this year. I mean, they're going to finish with a winning record. They're going to get to a bowl game, probably a nice one if they win Saturday night. But again, you look at the job he's been able to do recruiting and the team he's put together, and this team was primed to win the SEC East. They came up a little short. I know a lot of Vols fans are a little disappointed about that. Oops, sorry about that, Marty. Marty joins us now on Sportsline. Good evening, Marty. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, man.
What's happening?
I think Vanderbilt is going to shut Josh Dobbs down Saturday.
Do you? I mean, he's been red hot lately. What? He's been responsible for 10 touchdowns the last 2 weeks. He ran for $190 last week against Mizzou. Now, obviously, Vanderbilt should have a better defense in this game, but he's been pretty red hot the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but I think Vanderbilt's going to be ready. I think they're going to show Tennessee they can't come in their home field and beat them like that, you know.
So you're calling your shot. Vanderbilt wins. You know, one of the interesting things about this game, Marty, is you've got Vanderbilt's offense, which is all of a sudden woke up. You know, again, Shermer had 273 yards or whatever passing last week, threw for 2 touchdowns. Ralph Webb, who's been great all year, ran for 3 touchdowns. And look how bad Tennessee's defense has been the last couple of weeks. They gave up 444 yards rushing to Kentucky. They gave up about the same amount last week to Missouri. What's Ralph Webb going to do? I mean, he's in that offensive line. I think Ralph Webb's looking at a huge game Saturday night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Vanderbilt line, I'll tell you, over last 3 games, Vanderbilt line been playing pretty good, man. They look pretty good this year. I mean.
Yeah, but to stop Dobbs, you're going to need huge games from Zach Cunningham and Oren Burks, which both are certainly capable of providing that. But it should be a great game on Saturday night. So you're calling your shot. You got the Commodores winning.
Oh, yeah. Vanderbilt, man, that's my team, Vandy.
All right, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving. Time for our first break. When we come back, as promised, our buddy Adam Sparks from the Tennessean. He'll join us to give his take on the Vanderbilt-Tennessee game. May talk a little bit about the basketball team under Bryce Drew as well. A tough loss last night at home to Bucknell. We'll get to all that. Your phone calls. UT Vandy, who you got and who needs it more? Stay with us. Sportsline continues.